okay, well, that's how you want to do it.
Or they start to expect them, you know, and you're like, chill, bro.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like getting to know the people that I can like give pointers to, and the other ones that just are like, please don't look at me, don't touch me, like, don't come near me,
touch
don't
the
point at
friends.
me.
Truly, the energy is there.
Yeah.
It's strong in there.
You can tell. It's just like, this is my practice. Like,
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm here for myself. Maybe it's in the car. I'll be right back. Hi everyone, we'll start in a couple of minutes, but you can take your time to grab all the props. If you see, we're waiting on a few more folks, so if you see a sliver of mat space next to you, if you wouldn't mind getting an inch or two closer so that a mat can sneak in, otherwise there's lots of room up front, and I'll be right back. Good. Hi, Dream Beans. The car. I have 3 more at home if it's the case.
I haven't checked.
Okay.
I haven't been up there.
Don't worry. If you see it in the next few days, otherwise, and you can just keep it here because I'm going to use it for the month, but the brain is not working.
Been left here yesterday.
Mm-hmm. And it might be in my trunk, so I'll check there.
The drawers at the desk.
No, I'll do that now. That's a great idea. Thank you. Just to check the drawers. Oh yeah, see?
This isn't even what I saw.
I know, the other one was smaller, huh?
There's another one, too. So, this is very large. Oh, there's like a lot of them here.
Ready.
Interesting. Yeah, it's just like a small one that said like yes or no.
I remember.
It's like in samples maybe.
Oh yay, okay. Excellent. Welcome guys, everyone's here. Good to see you all. We will use all of the props, 2 blocks, a strap is a great idea. We'll have some time to roll, so if you want to grab therapy balls now, or Nikki and I can bring them to you later on, no problem. And did I say blocks already? Who knows what I said, but all of the things, you can grab all of them. It's great to see you. You can always gauge when, you know, in the evening classes, when the weather's starting to shift, because these lights need to be brighter and brighter the darker it gets outside, but we're still in summer. I think it looks like everyone is a familiar face, but on the off chance that we didn't get to meet or say hi to one another, my name is Anisha. I'm glad you guys are here. And Nikki is here with us, as always, doing the thing, and is going to be here for any questions that you have. Nikki just graduated the last round of teacher training, and I know, true thrill, and is teaching community classes? Yes, which we'll talk about after we start moving so we can get practicing. But if you have any questions or need any prop assists, or if something that I say doesn't make any sense, please feel free to call to her, ask her, because she is here for you as a great resource. All right, October, the month of spooky season. The Halloween decorations are abundant in Queen Village, and then also, if you guys spent time in West Philly and seen the decorations out there, people go buck wild. I just saw the other day, I know this is recorded, but I just saw 2 blow-up skeletons that you would think would be like standing next to each other, but they were one on top of the other making out with each other. I was like, oh, we're doing it. I'm going to take a picture of this and keep walking. So the time is now to be alive. But October in the yoga studio is one of my favorite times of year for practice because it's a phenomenal time for mythology and storytelling, as October 14th to, what's 9 days after that? October 14th to 9 days after? 23rd, thank you. I see you guys mouthing it, so this is helpful. Is the 9-night, 9-day celebration of the goddess called Navaratri. And so each day and night, there's a different story told about every avatar of the goddess herself. But for the sake of us, for the next 4 weeks throughout class, each week will be focused on a different story and how the practice inspires the qualities of the goddess that exists within us. 3 Queens is named after the 3 goddesses, Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Durga, who we'll be talking about today. And when we share these stories, like I did last month about Ganesh and Ganpati, the reminder is that each one of the qualities of the goddess aren't separate qualities from us. You can think of them as stories that you've heard, almost like superhero stories or comic book stories that can be outside of our lives. But also, the stories remind us that every quality of this feminine divine exists deeply within ourselves. And this is the time to remember those qualities and aspects. So today's story, I was searching, I've misplaced my comic book, but I have many more at home. So normally I would have a little show and tell, but next week I'll try and find it. But each of the stories begins with chaos. Each of the stories begins with a demon doing something chaotic. And in this version, the first picture of the comic is this demon named Mahisha Asura. Every time you see the word Asura at the end, it signifies some sort of demonic quality. And he's on top of a mountain doing tree pose, trying to ask and do his daily offerings to get the attention of the gods. And so years go by, and he does his daily rituals, his yoga practice, his offerings, and the gods get his attention. They see him doing all of the work. And so what they ask, they say, okay, what is it that you desire? What is it that you want? What is it that you're craving after doing all of these rituals? And he asks for a boon, a request to be immortal, to never be defeated in battle by any man or animal. And they say, okay, we have to grant you your wish because you have been doing the work as well. And he takes his seeming immortality, his power, and destroys the universe. He causes chaos, he builds an entire demonic army, and he begins to control the power of the world. And so the gods that are remaining, they say, what have we done? We've made a mistake. Someone needs to come and help us. And so they call to the goddess. They call to the divine feminine energy that's known as Durga. And when I tell you these stories, for the sake of them getting clear in our mind, I try to tell them chronologically. But as the weeks go on, you might notice that nothing is linear, nothing is in sequential order, and it's a 3-dimensional aspect of who all of these goddesses are. And hopefully by the end of the month, we'll close the loop. But if we don't, sorry, you have next year to hear the stories again. But the goddess emerges. Her name is Durga. She's the warrior goddess. Her statue is up here next to her son, Ganesh. And she rides on the back of a lion or a tiger. That's her vehicle of choice. Shiva rides on the back of Nandi, the cow. Ganesh, if we remember from last month, rides on the little mouse. She rides on the tiger or lion. And you'll see that she has no less than 10 arms that she holds out, and each one of those arms is holding a different piece of weaponry. There's a discus in one hand, a sword, a trident, a bow and arrow. Some images she holds a bowl of water, all weapons that she uses to defeat the demons that she encounters. And so she arrives and emerges on the battlefield. Mahisha Asura, the demon, sends his entire demonic army to go attack her. And the comic goes, I love this, it says, she hums and says the word Om, and they all evaporate into thin air. The entire demonic army just vanishes. And so Mahisha Asura, this king monster demon, says, fine, I have this great power. I'm going to come and kill her. And so he emerges as a water buffalo in his demonic water buffalo spirit. He goes to attack. She quickly takes one of her weapons and slays him. And from the spirit of the water buffalo, he becomes a different animal and goes to attack her again. And the mythology goes he turns into 108 different animals that come to attack. And with every piece of weaponry that she has, she defeats every single one until he becomes his human form and she kills him and slays him. And then some semblance of peace is there for a moment until next week when there's an even more chaotic story that happens and another version of her has to emerge. But I love these stories of the goddess because there's so many incredible metaphors that we can play into as we start to practice today. The Mahishasura demon, it might not be that there's necessarily water buffaloes that are coming to attack you in the middle of the street. These demons that exist in the story aren't the same demons that we encounter in our everyday life. But the modern day demons that we encounter are very real. They're very tangible. They're very potent. They can be like the crick in the neck that you wake up with, or someone today tried to cut me off in traffic and I was like, demon, it's you coming here. Can't find parking, demon. All very real demons that we exist with. But the stories of Durga, they tell us she has the weaponry to defeat the demons, and we each have every piece of weaponry that we need to defeat the demons that we encounter. And the weapon that we're going to practice with today is the full fluency of our breath. It has the capacity to defeat the demons, to calm you down after you defeat the demons, to slow you down, to warm you up, to cool you down, and so much more in between. So as we move into our practice today of my demon poses, the poses that I avoid, tend to not do, the invitation is to feel every breath that you take in each and every moment that you're in. So if we're lucky, we get to experience it off of the mats. October is also notoriously a chatty month in the studio. That took me, longer than yesterday, 8 minutes. Yesterday was 6 minutes. But it's all in good spirit. There's so much to share about the mythology and how it's so beautifully linked with our practice, and we'll see how it goes today. So can we start lying on our backs, if you wouldn't mind? Heads up towards me, feet to the wall behind you. Come to drape yourself on the ground in any way, shape, actually have your knees bent, feet on the ground, feet as wide as your mat, and knock your knees into each other so that the weight of your legs can support the other. We're starting here since we'll be doing a few extra hip openers this evening. And starting here, draped on the ground, to feel that steadiness of gravity beneath. You can do anything you like with your arms. They can be draped alongside of you or overhead or on your being itself. But with the weight of your legs supporting the other, can you begin to listen for your breath, that most powerful weapon in your arsenal? Take this time to notice how it feels in your being, where it falls in your body. And as we start here on the ground, connected to the earth, a force stronger than each and every one of us combined, that holds us, that connects us, and grounds us into her being. Can you feel the ground not just below your sticky mat, but imagine the ground below the building, below the soil, deep down into the core of the earth. And as you let each round of breath that you take let you get heavier, can you feel yourself get heavy deep down into the depths of the earth itself? The more you notice your breath, let it naturally deepen, sending the breath from the nose down into your belly and up into the heart. And with each exhale, offer the breath out through every direction, every fiber of your being. Continue with that breath a few more times at your pace, letting the breath move in, down, and wide. And with each exhale, offer the breath out through each direction, the front, the sides, and the back of your body. We'll begin our practice and our time here with each other and at home with 3 more rounds of that same breath. So wait for your next inhale as it fills you up. And exhale out through your nose or parted lips to let all of that breath go. 2 more times on your own. At the bottom of your breath, pause for a moment, bless you. Take notice of any difference that comes when you listen for and really remember your breath. And now keeping that connection to yourself as best as you can, gently blink your eyes open if they're not already, and keeping your knees bent, feet on the ground, let your knees come right over your ankles, so widen the knees to bring them nice and spacious. Being mindful of props around you, take a big breath in to fill up your belly, and on your exhale, keep the feet wide as you drop both knees to the right hand side. Inhale to bring the knees back up through center. And on your exhale, with the feet wide, feet on the ground, let your knees drop over to the left. Go 2 more times from side to side at your pace, really letting the glutes, the butt muscles soften onto the earth, letting the belly be soft and full, and taking notice of what it feels like to just let gravity massage the backs of your body as you drop the knees from side to side. The next time your knees drop to the left and come back up through center, take a breath here in between to pause. And now cross your left ankle over your right thigh to come into figure 4. Flex that left foot as best as you can, especially those pinky toes. And a reminder, we'll be doing plenty of hip openers today, so feel free to stay here. Or you might lift the right foot up off the ground and interlace your hands behind your right thigh, bringing the thighs close to the belly. If one or both legs are lifted, do flex through both feet to steady the ankles and knees. And can you gently shrug your shoulders to the ears as you wiggle the shoulder blades together and really feel the upper back soften to the earth. Send the breath in, down, and wide. And big exhale to offer all of that breath out. Now keep those legs crossed. Just release your hands from behind the right thigh as you lower the right foot to the floor. And drop both legs over to the right hand side for a twist. The left foot might tap the ground, the outside of your right thigh might tap the earth. But take notice of what this twist feels like as you drape your body onto the ground. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. On your next inhale, uncross your legs, draw your knees and feet back through center, lower both feet to the ground. And now switch sides, cross the right ankle on top of the left thigh, flex through those feet. Remember, hips are so different, perhaps little demons in those hips, so see what you're starting with. Stay here, or you might thread the needle, hands coming behind the left thigh as you flex through the feet. Shrug those shoulders to the ears, wiggle the shoulder blades towards each other, reach the pinky toes back as you take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And now unravel the hands from behind the thigh, lower the left toes down, and as you exhale, drop the legs over to the left hand side. Let the right shoulder be heavy, let the back of your head be heavy as you trace the breath in, down, and wide. And exhale to offer the breath out through every direction, every fiber of you. On your next inhalation, uncross the legs, draw the knees back through center. Give your legs a squeeze, either in towards your belly or towards the sides of your ribs. As you take a breath in here and exhale to release the legs. The next place we'll find ourselves is in tabletop, so however you'd like to come off of your back. You might roll forward and back or side to side, but find your way to your hands and your knees facing the front of the room. Good, spread your fingers nice and wide, tuck your toes under, and begin to link breath and movement at your pace. Take a couple of rounds of cat and cow on your own, feeling how your breath and body harmonize together. Every time you inhale, it's this divine energy exhaling her way into you. And every one of your divine exhalations is an offering to her breath in. So as you take a few rounds of breath, moving in any way, shape, or form, notice what it is that you feel. And when you find your next exhale, come on back through to table. Find your way to your hands and your knees. Walk your hands forward of your shoulders. Walk your knees behind your hips. And as you tuck your toes under, We'll meet in downward facing dog as much time and as many breaths as you'd like to find your way there. Take a few breaths here. You might pedal the heels from side to side in your down dog. You might soften or straighten your legs as you lift your hips to the sky, but take notice of what you feel. And I know throughout the weeks we've talked about this, but if you feel that little demon in the wrists, any wrist sensation here in down dog or table, check to see, are those index fingers pointing straight ahead towards the front of your mat? Maybe even feels like your hands are fanning out slightly. And can you press through the finger pads so much that it could almost be like you could lift your wrists clear up off the ground? Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, push down and forward through those arms to lift your hips up and back to the wall behind. Now lift the heels up high, soften your knees, peek forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your hands to come into that forward fold. Some other weapons in your arsenal, props. Use them when you need, how you need. Maybe you bring your hands up on blocks out in front of your feet to lift the floor higher to you. Maybe you bend your knees as much as you need to let yourself bow in towards yourself. But take a breath here and exhale to let it all out. And now after a few breaths, hands to your hips, stand through your legs, and inhale to come all the way up to rise as you release your hands. Wait for your inhale as you sweep the arms forward and up to the sky. And on your exhale, soften your knees, hinge at your hips and fold. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen, reach the heart forward and long. And on your exhale, plank pose, we step it back. Knees down or up away from the ground, but as you stretch through the tailbone back to the heels, reach the heart forward, big breath in, and exhale to bend the elbows, to lower down to the belly. Inhale to rise for baby cobra or cobra. Really hug those shoulder blades together. And on your exhale, take it all the way back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. 3 deep breaths here in your down dog, in your table, in your puppy. But let your breath help you notice what you don't see with those 2 eyes, but you very clearly feel. The month of October is also the month where I ask you for your demon poses, those poses that you tend to avoid, because I will teach them in class. And it's only because it's in the service of a greater good. If we tend to avoid the demons, they get stronger. Just like Mahisha Asura, he did all of the work. Even though the gods knew he was a demon, he still received his boons. So the more power we give the demons, the more we ignore them, the more they might consume us. So can we take this month to find what those demons are, get to know them, feel comfortable with them, and hold them close to us so they don't eat us in the true Halloween spirit. So lift your heels up high, big bend in the knees, peek forward, and walk your feet towards your hands to your forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway, get long through the spine. And as you exhale, keep that length as you fold and bow in towards yourself. Big breath in to rise, stand through the legs, get tall, reach up. And exhale to let the hands come down by your sides. We'll do it one more time. Follow your breath more than my voice. Inhale, arms go up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to fold, Uttanasana. On your inhale, lengthen halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale to bring it all the way back to the top of your push-up plank. A full breath here, reach the heart forward. Exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Big breath in to rise. For your version of cobra, can you slide the bottom ribs back as you press the ears back? And on your exhale, we meet again in downward facing dog. 3 more breaths. That most powerful weapon in your arsenal. Just like Durga held the weapons in her hands, your breath is there for you to find and defeat any of those modern day demons. Take notice of what it feels like here. Wait for your next inhale as you float the right leg up and back. Bend your right knee and open up through the right hip for this 3-legged dog. Imagine like you can foot high five the person to your left with your right foot. And now check, is that left arm and shoulder dipping to the earth to compensate? Can you push into the left palm, lift the left shoulder up, maybe tack the left hip back as you let the left heel get heavy to the earth? And now inhale to square the hips back off, look between your hands, and step it all the way through to lunge. Lower the left knee to the floor or your blanket for some extra padding. And now walk your hands up onto the thigh to come up tall. We'll add the arms in a moment, but really give those legs a hug in towards each other. The metaphor for the month in these lunges, imagine as if you're riding on the back of the tiger and you don't want to fall off. You got to hug the legs together from front to back and side to side. And now as you inhale, reach both arms all the way up. Bend your left elbow. Give yourself a pat on the upper back. Let the right fingertips hold on. And now think left elbow to the ceiling as you press your head back into the forearm. Notice when the head goes back, do the ribs and belly move way far forward? Can you slide the bottom ribs back, breathe into the middle of your back, and then press your head back. Take a deep breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale, lift the left elbow to the sky, and maybe let the right thigh get heavier towards the earth. On your inhale, gently release the hands, tap the earth. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take as much time as you need to find your way there. Inhale brings you to plank pose. As you exhale, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Drink your breath in, cobra. Bottom ribs move back as those ears press back. And on your exhale, take it all the way back to downward facing dog. Wait for the breath. Inhale to lift the left leg to the sky. Bend the knee. Open up through that hip. As you flex the left foot and try to foot high five your friend or the wall to the right, imagine like you had 5 more arms coming off the right side of you, like Durga, and you can push through the right hands to lift the right shoulder away from the ground. And then one of those hands tacks into the right hip to move the right hip back and let the right heel get heavier to the earth. Check to see what you feel in there. Inhale to square the hips back off, peek between your hands, and step it all the way through to lunge. Lower the right knee to the floor or blanket as you come up tall, low lunge. Hug the knees together, hug the thighs together. You'll feel the muscles around your tush start to tone. And now keep that as the arms reach up to the sky. Bend the right elbow, let the left fingertips hold on. And for my friends with very mobile shoulder joints, where it feels almost nice to pull the elbow to the middle of the head, try to do the opposite. So press the right elbow to the left, into that left hand, or right elbow to the right, and then use your fingertips to lift the elbow to the sky. You might feel something different in the tricep itself. Head back, bottom ribs back, bottom ribs back, head back as you take a deep breath in and down. Stay for the exhale, think elbow to the ceiling, and let the left thigh feel heavier to the earth. Now inhale to gently release the hands. Take your time to step it back to downward facing dog as you pedal the heels. Few more times together. On your inhale, bring it forward to plank pose. As you exhale, bend the elbows and lower all the way down. This time, stay on the ground and stretch your arms alongside of you as you flip your palms to face the floor. This was someone's demon yesterday, so we're just piling the demons on to make a little army, locust pose, Shalabhasana. She's not here, so we can practice it without her, but shrug your shoulders to the ears, hug the shoulder blades together, and on your inhale, take your time, lift your head, lift your heart, float your palms up off the ground, and exhale to let the legs lift up off the earth. As you lift everything but those hips, try to soften your eyes, soften the jaw, and offer it to the breath. Can you reach the inner thighs, the insides of your pants more to the sky? Might make some space in the low back. And now hug the shoulder blades together. Maybe the palms lift up 1 more inch. Take a deep breath in and exhale to release as you lower all the way to the earth. Rest on one of your cheeks. Rest on your forehead. And take a full breath here to let yourself soften to the earth. When I bring the comic next week, if any of you want to look at it, you'll see, even in the most gory and graphic poses that Durga is in, slaying all these demons, the face is serene. There's not even a wrinkle, a furrow in the lips or eyebrows, which is inspirational. But we try it here. In our demon poses, can you find softness in the brow and jaw? So as you find your way back through center, let's come into tabletop. We'll make our way back to downward facing dog. As much time as you need to find your way there. From down dog, float the right leg to the sky. Step it all the way through to catch your lunge. And now pivot your hands and feet over to the left to come into your wide-legged forward fold. Check to see that those toes are pointing straight ahead to the long edge of your mat. And now tiny bend in your knees, especially if you know if they lock out. Now can you imagine you're riding on the back of that tiger? Hug your legs together. You don't want to fall off. Squeeze those legs together. Take a deep breath in. And now as you keep that, exhale to soften the elbows and bow in towards yourself. Every inhale, the legs hug in towards each other. Every exhale, the elbows soften as the heart gets heavier to the earth. And now let the head stay heavy as you turn the right knee and toes to catch your lunge. Lift the back heel high. We'll meet in high lunge. Take a breath in to rise. Reach the arms, the chest, and the torso to the sky. Heel toe the right foot an inch or two over to the right side of your mat so you're less on that balance beam. But lift the back heel high, lift the back thigh to the sky as you stretch up through the arms. And now let the front thigh descend to the earth as you begin to bend the elbows into trident. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. We'll move here a few times. As you breathe in, straighten the front leg, reach the arms up, get tall. And on your exhale, bend into the front thigh as the elbows bend. 2 more. Big breath in, get tall. On your exhale, let the front thigh descend while you lift the chest to the sky. 1 more. Big breath in, reach up. And as you exhale, stay. Let the front thigh descend. Hug the shoulder blades together. Now hands to your hips. We'll come up to stand. Spring off the left foot. Scoop the left thigh to the chest. Cross your left ankle over the right thigh. And think hips back as you reach your heart forward for figure 4, like we did standing. Ooh. Maybe blocks in front of your fingertips. Maybe hands stay on your hips. Maybe the arms go overhead. But take what it is that you need as you offer it to that weapon of the breath. Take a deep breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale. Flex the left foot as you lift the heart. And now inhale brings you to rise. Reach the arms to the sky, the left knee to the nose, get an inch taller, and thread it all the way back to catch your lunge. Fingertips tap the ground, not quite done yet. Heel toe the right foot over to the left side of your mat. And we're going to meet in pigeon pose as you lower the right knee and the right shin down onto the ground. Hips. Demon 1, demon 2, whispering. So we'll take this one to keep it upright. You can come onto blocks or fingertips out in front of the right shin. And now hug the left knee forward so you can wrap the left hip forward. Bend your back knee, lift the back toes up off the floor, stay here and take a couple of breaths. Or as you walk your right hand forward and off to the right, your left hand might get light to reach around for the left toes for the thigh stretch. But really hug the left knee forward to the front of your mat. Shrug the left shoulder up and back. And as you turn your belly from left to right, so you face the front of the room, offer it to the breath. Take a deep breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale. Hug the left thigh forward. Lift the gaze away from the earth. And now inhale to slowly release the leg, plant your palms, and take it all the way back to downward facing dog. A breath or two here. Take notice of any difference from side to side. You might pedal the heels, soften or straighten your legs as you notice the breath. And now side 2, lift the left leg to the sky. Step it through to catch your lunge. You might bring your strap with you as you pivot your hands and feet over to the right for that wide-legged forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. I like to hold a strap between the hands to give your chest and shoulders lots of space. Or if you want to interlace your fingers, please feel free to do so. But start with your elbows very bent. And now remember your legs. Don't fall off the lion or tiger. Hug the legs together from side to side. And as you pull your strap apart, begin to reach your arms overhead towards the sky. Every inhale, the legs hug in towards each other. Every exhale, can you tug your fingers or strap apart to feel the shoulder blades come together on the upper back? And now the last tip is instead of crown of your head to the earth, can you reach the heart to the ground? Might even lift the chin away from your chest. Take one more breath in. Big exhale to let it all out. And now slowly release the hands and strap to the tush. Let it go to the side. Turn the left knee and toes to catch your lunge. On your inhale, take the whole breath to come up to rise for high lunge. Walk the left foot an inch more to the left to feel yourself with more steadiness between the legs. And now lift the back heel, lift the back thigh, reach up through the arms and peek away from the ground. Bend into the front thigh as you bend your elbows into trident, one of those weapons that Durga held. Inhale with your breath, straighten the leg, reach the arms up. As you exhale, descend 1 inch lower, twice more. Big inhale, get tall. As you exhale, descend. Can you lift the heart even as the front thigh gets heavy? 1 more. Big breath in, reach up. And as you exhale, let the front thigh get heavy. Hug the shoulder blades together. Hands to your hips. All the hops you need to scoop the right thigh to the chest. Right ankle crosses over the left thigh. Think tush back as you reach the heart forward for figure 4. Let the right foot be as flexed as it can be, as if it's standing on the ground. And now here, try to lift your right knee an inch higher up from where it is, and see if you can guide your left knee open towards the second and third toes. And now keep that as your hips sit lower and your heart lifts to the sky. Take 1 more breath in. Stay for that exhale. And big breath in to rewind. Reach the arms all the way up. Right knee to the belly button. Thread the right foot back to catch your lunge. Let your hands tap blocks or the floor as you heel toe the left foot over to the right. And we'll make our way towards pigeon. Ooh, side 2 does not feel good. So take a breath here. Notice what you feel as you offer it to your breath. That's it. With the right toes either tucked or untucked, can you hug the right knee forward towards the front of the room? And as you hug the right knee forward, lift the chest. Bend your back knee as you lift the back toes away from the earth. Stay here for a few breaths. Or as you ground into the left hand, the right hand might get lighter to reach around for the right toes. Like you did in Cobra, like you did in that low lunge to start, can you slide those bottom ribs back? See how that changes anything in the right thigh. Shrug the right shoulder up and back as you lift the heart. And now to that breath, take a deep breath in, down, and wide. Stay for 1 more exhale. Hug the right thigh forward as you turn that belly from right to left. Inhale to gently release the leg. Plant your palms and take it back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Whew, a few breaths here. You can lower your knees to the floor at any point, or let your breath take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together already. But 3 deep breaths at your pace, in through the nose and all the way out through the nose or mouth. That's it. And now from down dog, lower the knees to the ground. Sit back onto your heels and sip on some water or shake it out. I went to go walk over to the air conditioning unit to turn it down, and before I even touched it, I was like, the modern day weaponry to defeat the sweat that is building. I think this is okay. Comfortably toasted, right? Sometimes I'm like, I forgot what it feels like to sweat when it gets cold outside. It's kind of nice. Okay. I'll share with you the list of demon poses that I've compiled, and you can tell me whether we like them or not, from yesterday to today. Chair pose, locust, camel. I always forget about camel because why? Someone very sweetly, Jean was on the chat, and I didn't see it until afterwards, and she wrote, I'm safe at home, but my demon poses are revolved triangle and chair pose. I was like, okay, we won't do them today, but we'll do them another day. And bow pose. Anyone have a demon they want to share? Warrior 3. Oh, we're doing it today. Sorry, baby. I didn't mean for today to be your demon poses too. Also, you don't have to have any, but I just like to file them in. Wheel. Cat hiss. Dolphin. These are good. Okay, to flip the coin, does anyone like those poses? See? The demon pose that we're doing, which is mine today, 4 people in class yesterday were like, that's my favorite pose. I'm like, can I have one glimmer of your brain cell to have that be my favorite pose too? But Okay, these are all filed away. You don't have to share them with me, but I would love to know what they are to see if we can shapeshift them. So we're going to build my little demon from the ground up and see where it goes to from here. So the weaponry that you have available to you look like blankets and blocks. So if you need any of them, feel free to find them. But we're going to set ourselves up in tabletop to start. Maybe your hands and knees are on your mat. Maybe your hands and knees are on blocks or blankets. But find your way to table when you find the breath. Now actually before we begin, walk your hands to come as wide as your mat. Spread your fingers and press your fingertips into the earth. With those toes tucked under, stretch the right leg back behind you. Feel the right foot steady on the ground. And now lift the right leg up off the earth. Notice when the right leg lifts, does your belly and ribs drop like mine do? Can you lift the belly and ribs like you did in Cobra? And now bend your right knee as you flex the right foot up to the sky. Lift the right heel. Peek forward to the top of your mat. Let the back of your neck grow long. Maybe you walk your left hand forward of the left shoulder and stay right here. Or you ground into the right hand and reach the left hand out and around to hold the right toes. I like to look to the ground to help with balance. But can you squeeze your right leg to the middle of your mat, shrug the left shoulder up and back, and if you're holding the foot, then push your foot back into the hand to turn the belly, the heart, and the chest open to the left for revolved half bow. Take one more breath in. Stay for that exhale, bottom ribs back as you press the foot back. And now inhale to get long. Reach the right leg back, lower your hands to the floor, and take it back to table. Take a round or two of cat and cow or a couple of breaths in stillness in your tabletop as you offer it to the breath. Okay, so that's the baby demon version. The next round that we're going to do is the left side and then bring it up with the knees not on the ground. The other little hack that I want to give you, another little weapon in your arsenal, is if you find and feel, this is the common tendency of this pose, if you find and feel that when you hold the back leg, the tendency is for the leg to go way off to the side, especially when you can't see it. It has a tendency to swing all the way off to the opposite side. And then when you reach back, you're like, where's the foot? If you hold it, then you kick it back, it almost tips you off center. No one actually looked like that. I was just doing the over dramatic version to show you. But the way to find steadiness in this pose is less about the height of this back leg, but more how much can you hug it towards center. And then when you push the foot back, keeping it in line with the hip, then the chest and belly begin to spin open, theoretically to the sky. It's the more the back leg hugs in, the more of like a rudder on a boat. That's how it works, that thing that steers the boat. Okay, the more that can help revolve your chest to the sky without feeling like you're going to tip over. Does seeing that help? Okay, because we're going to do it again on left, and then we're going to do it again standing, so it just gets more and more demonic. Demonic is the word, demony is not, as we start to stand. So let's try side two. I'll take a peek. Come into table for Pavrita Ardha Dhanurasana, twisted half bow. Hands wide as your mat. This will help steady you. Stretch the left leg back. Reach back through the left heel and let the gaze move forward. Feel the back of your neck grow long. Now as you lift the left leg up off the ground, belly and ribs lift to the sky, and bend your left knee as you flex the foot to the ceiling. Even here, can you hug the left thigh to the middle of your mat? Stay here or walk the right hand forward of the right shoulder. Maybe the left hand grounds and the right hand reaches out and around to hold the left foot. I like to look down to help with balance, but really hug the left thigh to the middle of your mat, shrug the right shoulder up and back, and then from there, press the foot back to turn the belly, the heart, and the chest open to the right, offering it to the breath. One more breath in, stay for that exhale, and then inhale to release, get long, reach the left heel back, lower the right hand down, and come back into tabletop. That looked great. Did it feel different than the first side? It can be no. Okay. Squeeze to the middle. Let's take it to down dog. And say hello to my demon. the pose of my demonic dreams. And Mary Kate's, we're going to go through that one too. Sorry, baby. Take a breath. Notice what you feel. And now lift the right leg up and back. Step it through to catch your lunge. Pivot your hands and feet to the left for that wide-legged forward fold. A breath here, really hug the legs together from side to side. And as you exhale, soften the elbows, bow your heart in towards yourself. Take another breath in, fill the belly, fill the heart, and exhale to let every drop of that breath go. Now on your next inhale, we'll meet in high lunge. Turn the right knee and toes to face the front of your mat. Wait for the entire breath in as you come all the way to rise. Reach those arms up. And now tiny bend in the back knee, as many hops as you need to scoop the left thigh to the chest. Soften the right standing knee. For warrior 3, begin to reach your torso forward as you extend back through the left leg like you just did in table. Hug the left thigh to the middle of your mat, stretch back through the left heel and reach the heart forward. Now keep that left thigh lifted as you lower the fingertips to blocks or the floor out in front of those right toes. Keep that left thigh lifted as you look forward. And now bend your left knee, flex the foot, and imagine like you could raise the roof with the left heel. Lots to do here, peek forward. Or as you walk your left hand forward of the shoulder and off to the left, lean into the left hand and reach the right hand out and around to hold on to the left toes. Hug the left thigh to the middle like you did in table. Shrug the right shoulder up and back. And as you push your foot back into your hand, from the belly, revolve to the right. Your breath is going to be that most powerful tool in your arsenal. So take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And on your inhale, unwind, extend back through the left leg, reach the heart forward, and lower the left foot down next to your right for your standing forward fold. Feel both feet on the ground as you bow in towards yourself. Take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Twisted half moon with the thigh stretch. Mahisha Asura, the demon in another name. Take a breath and offer it all out. And now plant your palms to the top of your mat. Step your feet to the back of your mat to take it back to downward facing dog as you lift your hips to the sky. Any questions about what we just did? Pedal the heels. Take notice. Yes, you can lower the knees and sit back. The bottom one? Yeah. She tight. We tight. We collectively tight. The little tip that I have for that, you're binding yourself up a lot. So by nature, it's going to feel tight in there. The one thing to look at, starting from the ground up, is if the heel is turning in or out like it does in half moon. And the other thing is there's no obligation. When you see my version or anyone's version, my standing knee is very bent because as soon as it starts to straighten or like move towards straight, my body's like, please stop. Please limit yourself here. So options include not reaching for the foot. It's going to be a big hamstring strengthener in the back leg. Being here if you want to move the leg towards straight, or if you want to hold the foot, keep that bottom knee bent and try to tack the hip back this way because it wants to swing off to the side and do that. Tack the hip back towards the back of your mat and it might alleviate some pressure on that back hamstring. Yeah? Good question. I hate this pose. Like with every fiber of my being, I hate this pose because this is like, anyone like this one? You can like it. Oh, yes. Thank goodness. Yesterday in class, 2 people were like, I love it. I was like, who are you at 5'10" with your long hamstrings looking so tall? Should we do the other side? Good question, Em. Down dog. Take it all the way back. The aim is to not make you fall in love with your demon poses, but to make you hate them a little less. But I teach this one every year, and I think I hate it more. Okay, last side. Take a breath. Feel that weapon in your arsenal. Notice how it feels once your hands and feet are on the ground. And now left foot through to lunge. Pivot your hands and feet to the right for that wide-legged forward fold on the other side. If you'd like to take that optional shoulder stretch, you're more than welcome to do so, or keep your hands on the earth. But let it be an offering to your breath. A deep inhale in hugs the legs together, and a long exhale out as you pour your heart towards the earth. Take one more breath as you are, and a deeper breath out. And now slowly release the hands if they're overhead. Turn the left knee and toes to catch your lunge. And on your inhale, come all the way up to high lunge on the other side. Feel both feet on the ground. You're seeing that demonic army ahead of you preparing to take what you need. And now as you come up to stand, spring off the right foot, right thigh to the chest. Soften the left knee. Let it be soft. So as you make your way towards warrior 3, the right leg extends back as the left leg reaches forward. Hug the right thigh to the middle of your mat. Reach back through the right heel. Think heart forward to the front of the room. And now keep that right inner thigh lifting to the sky as you tap your fingertips to blocks or the floor out in front of that left knee. And now soften your left knee here. Bend your right knee, the one that's lifted, as you flex the foot and try to raise the roof with your right leg. Think heart forward. And as you walk your right hand to the right and forward of the right shoulder, you might lean into the right hand, and maybe you reach the left hand back to the wall behind you as you raise the roof with the right foot. Maybe the hand catches the foot. Nice, and that's it. And now as you soften your left standing knee, tack the outer left hip back, shrug the left shoulder up and back. And as you push the foot back into your hand, turn the belly, the heart, and the chest to the left. One more breath. Offer it out and inhale to get long through the limbs. Reach back through the right leg. Reach forward through the heart as you lower the right foot down next to the left. Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Did that feel different on this side, Em? Yay! Oh, good. It could also be a vehement no. I'll accept that and outsource you to someone else. All right, plant your palms to the top of your mat. Walk your feet to the back of your mat to take it back to downward facing dog. One more time together. Drink the breath in as you come forward to plank pose. On your exhale, lower down to that belly. Come up to rise for a version of cobra. Press the tops of your feet down. Hug the shoulder blades together as you press back through the ears. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog one more time. From your down dog, kiss your knees down onto the mat and come to sit on your tush. Butt on the ground, reach your legs out in front, and we'll take a round of reverse table before we roll. So feet heavy on the floor. I like to bring the hands as wide as your mat with your thumbs facing forward. Some like to bring fingertips forward. But as your palms come down onto the ground, scooch your tush all the way forward towards your heels. And as you push through the hands, reach the heart up to the sky. This sensation of broadness through the chest is what we seek. So please feel free to stay here. Or you might push through the feet to lift your hips to the sky. Push your palms down and apart to bring the shoulder blades together. Look to the knees, or as you press the ears back, keeping the breath full, you might look up to the sky. Take a full breath in. Stay for that exhale. Push the palms down. Think back of the heart to the sky as you lift the chest. And now lower your tush all the way to the floor. Come into a seated straddle. Let's face the brick wall side of the room. Grab your strap. And grab maybe a blanket and maybe a block. Thanks, baby. We're going to go to my least demon pose, favorite pose of the spectrum, to find a big side body stretch. So as you find your way into a seated straddle, you might stagger slightly with your friends, but bring one or both of your hands to your low back, just to see if that low back rounds into your hands like mine so often does. And if it does, sit up onto the edge of a blanket. My friend John Jacques gave me this imagery. If your pelvis is like a pole, that's what I was going to say. If your pelvis is like a bowl, it's as if the bowl of water is gently tipping forward, so you can lengthen the low back in and up. And now keep that as you bend your right knee, draw your right heel towards your right inner thigh, and you might bring a block to the inside of the left leg. Unwind your strap like a big old lasso and lasso it around the left foot. That's it. Flex through those left toes. Dig your left heel down into the ground. And now bend your left elbow down onto the block or onto the floor on the inside of your left thigh. As you bring your left elbow down to solid surface, bend your right elbow up towards the ceiling, like you're making a little window or a picture frame for your torso to peek through. Walk your right fingertips down the strap towards the right foot. They don't have to be anywhere near. But as you press the ears back, bring the shoulder blades together to broaden through the chest. And now use gravity to let the left side of your body get heavy towards the left leg. 3 more breaths here. Every inhale, think you're pressing your head back into a pillow. And every exhale, as left side of your body gets heavy to the left leg, can you turn the belly and the heart open to the sky? Take 1 more breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale. And now stay leaning over to the left. Just drop both edges of the strap into your bottom left hand and stretch your right fingertips as if they could grow beyond your left toes. Anchor your right butt cheek down to the ground. Stretch through the right hand. And as you turn your right palm up to the sky, a big inhale to come up and all the way out. Release the strap and take your time to switch sides. Stretch the right leg, bend your left knee, and give yourself all the tools to support you. So maybe blanket under your tush, block to the inside of your right knee, and lasso your strap around that right foot. Now flex the foot to start. Dig the right heel down, the calf and the back of the thigh. And as you bend your right elbow, bring it to the block or to the earth on the inside of your right leg. As the left elbow bends up towards the ceiling, inchworm your left fingertips down the strap. And for this pose, it's called revolved head to knee pose, Pavrita Janu Shirshasana. It's as if the upper back and back of your head could drape itself onto your right leg. That will happen never in this lifetime for me or the next, but the actions we move through here will find space through the left side body. So think head and ears back towards the back of your mat. And as you turn the belly and the chest open to the sky, then let the right side of your body get heavy to the right leg. 3 deep breaths. Send the breath in, down, and wide. And with every exhale, think heart to the sky as the right side of your body gets heavy to the right thigh. On your next breath, take your time. Drop both edges of the strap into your bottom right hand. Stretch the left arm beyond your right toes. Anchor the left butt cheek to the ground. Reach out through the left hand 1 more inch. And now turn the left palm up to the sky. Take a big breath in to come up and all the way out. Release the strap. Bend both knees, bring them onto the ground. We'll meet on our back, so feet to the wall behind you, head up towards me. Have both therapy balls close by and a block close by. And if you need any of those things, we can bring them over to you. You can wave a hand or find them in the corner as you come to lie on your back. Does anyone need therapy balls? Okay. Come on down, onto the floor. Bend your knees, bring both feet onto the ground. And we'll take a few back bends here before we begin to move our way towards rest. So with your feet on the floor, knees bent, bend your elbows and point your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Shrug your shoulders to the ears like you did in locust. Wiggle the shoulder blades together. And as you press down and forward through your feet, like you did in reverse table, lift your hips up to the sky. Wiggle the shoulder blades towards each other to lift the back of your chest. And then gently press your head down to lift the chin. Let there be space for breath to come through. You can keep your hands here. They can rest on your hips or belly. They can grab opposite edges of your mat. And as you tug your mat apart, the shoulder blades can come towards each other. But hug the inner thighs together. Push your feet down and forward as you lift your hips up. Take another breath in. Stay for the exhale. And now slowly release the hands as you lower your tush to the floor. Either knock your knees into each other or gently windshield wiper your knees from side to side as you take 3 deep breaths in between rounds. In through the nose and out through the nose or mouth. Okay, we'll set up for the second and final round of our backward bends. Bridge pose again, supported bridge, or Urdhva Dhanurasana, always an option. But for any of these 3 choices that I'll talk you through, bring your feet on the floor, bend your knees. Big inhale to press through the legs to lift your hips up. Wiggle the shoulder blades together, lift the back of your heart, and head heavy to lift the chin. Stay here in bridge, or slide a block or 2 under your tush for supported bridge. Or for upward facing bow, bring your hands by your ears, palms as wide as your mat. Press through the legs to maybe come up to the crown of your head. Press through the legs to maybe move the arms towards straight. But 3 deep breaths in through the nose. Exhales to offer it out. Nice kale. Turn your heels out, toes in. That's it. And hug the thighs together. Take another breath in. Stay for the exhale. And then when you find your breath, slowly lower down the same way you came in as you knock your knees in towards each other or windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Deepen your next breath in. And exhale to really offer all of that breath out. Now on your next breath, as you bring the knees back up through center, cross the left thigh all the way over your right thigh. Scooch your tush to the left side of your mat and drop your knees over to the right for a supine twist. I like to sometimes bring blocks underneath my thighs to bring the floor higher up to meet me. But let the left shoulder be very heavy here onto the earth as you listen for that breath. Remember, breath is there as the most powerful weapon in your arsenal to warm you up, to cool you down, and to prepare you for rest. On your next inhale, as you uncross your legs and draw your knees and feet back through center, cross your right thigh over the left thigh, scooch your tush to the right, and let your knees drop over to the left. Send that breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer the breath out through every direction, every fiber of your being. As you find your next breath, drink it in, uncross the legs, draw the knees back through center. Give your knees an embrace in towards your chest. We've done some work from right to left. Give them a squeeze. Maybe making some gentle circles through some therapy ball work in the glute. If there's any other region that you prefer, that you know, please feel free to take this time to be to work at your pace. Or if you'd like to set up early for Shavasana, you're more than welcome to do so. We'll meet you there in a few moments. But as you find a therapy ball, you can take them out of their tote with your knees bent, feet on the ground. Lift your tush just enough to pop the therapy balls to the top of your butt cheeks on either side of your tush, either side of your tailbone, in a sweet spot. Once you find them at the top of your butt cheeks, release those arms, let them fall wherever they fall. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale out through parted lips. Now there's plenty to do in stillness. Feel free to stay and breathe here. Or keeping your feet steady, sway your hips to the left and let your knees move to the right. And then move your butt to the right and knees to the left. And begin to swivel your hips as slowly as you'd like from side to side, so you feel the therapy balls moving along the upper fibers of your glutes, where we spent plenty of time this evening. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. When you feel like you've gone relatively even from right to left, draw your tush back through center, and then use your hands to lower those therapy balls another inch or two to the middle of your tush, a new place. Might start them relatively close together, since they'll eventually get wide. Let your arms release as you take a deep breath in and open your mouth to let that breath go. Stay here, begin that swivel once again. Sway your hips to the right, knees to the left. Hips to the left, knees to the right, and you zigzag your hips and knees away from each other. What you'll feel is that those therapy balls slowly and eventually get wider apart. Maybe coming towards the outer edges and the outer seams of your hips. Once you find them there very wide, let them stay wide as you draw your hips back through center. And now heel toe both of your feet over to the left as you just drop your right knee to the right, letting that right therapy ball find its way into your outer right tush. Let out any sighs, any noises, any long exhales. We've spent a lot of time here in pigeon, in that twisted half moon. For some of us, this is palatable. For others, this is the true bionic demon that shapeshifts. Can you let your breath help you find a drop more space? Draw the right knee back through center. Walk your feet back through center. As you heel toe your feet to the right, take a big breath in and open your mouth to let it out as you drop your knees to the left knee to the left. Take a long inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through parted lips. Unclench the jaw, the fists, maybe that left butt cheek as best as you can. And now draw both knees back through center. Release the therapy balls. Keep them in your hands as you lower your tush down onto the earth. Can you take notice of what it is that you feel, but you don't necessarily see? And now with the therapy ball in each hand, I'll talk us through one more place in the upper back, just for a few breaths. You can lift your head and shoulders just enough to pop the therapy balls in between your shoulder blades on either side of your spine. There's no wrong region for them to go. It's a practice and a time of self-exploration. But if you find your way down onto the ground and you're like, something doesn't feel right, please feel free to call either of us over, and we're more than happy to help adjust. Now your head might be on the ground, or to alleviate some pressure, feel free to bring your head up onto a block. But let yourself be in the place where you can find the fullness of your breath, a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. The longer your exhales become, the heavier your upper back becomes, the more the therapy balls nestle into the fibers of your upper back. In through the nose, out through the nose or parted lips. You're more than welcome to stay here, or like we did in the glutes, you might press through the feet, roll your body towards the top of your mat, until the therapy balls come down a few inches to the middle of the shoulder blades. You might need to adjust and bring those blocks with you. But if you found a new spot, take a full breath in through the nose and exhale out through parted lips. The demons that exist, that are very real, that shapeshift. But the story of Durga reminds us you have the weaponry that you need. The fullness of your breath, the heaviness of the ground beneath. Stay right here, or for one last spot, you might press through the feet again and roll your body another few inches to the top of your mat until those therapy balls come down to the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, in the back of your heart. A longer breath in And an even longer breath out. And as you find a few breaths here, we'll make the slow exit journey out. Release any blocks out from underneath you if you have them. Scoot your hips towards your heels and roll your body towards the back of your mat, the back of the room, until the therapy balls come up your back. Eventually they pop out from the tops of your shoulders. They always take my t-shirt, so if you roll over onto one side, you can push them out of the way. But do let them exit. For prolonged pressure there might create some unnecessary sensation. And the next place we'll all meet is finding our way towards rest, towards your version of Shavasana. So give yourself a few moments, if you haven't already, to take what it is that you need, any extra props or layers. You might let your glasses go safely off to the side or let your hair down. But begin to drape your body down onto the altar of the earth. And as you listen and remember that breath, the demons are defeated. The breath still remains. And as you let every cycle, every round of your breath, let you become heavier into the ground. Each breath dissolves the practice that was. Each breath lets you arrive to where you are right now. And each breath that comes after creates space for what has yet to come. Can you let every single round of your breath let you become even a drop heavier into the earth, into gravity beneath, below your mat, below the building, below the soil, into the core of the earth. And the heavier you let yourself become, the more divine you may just begin to feel. If the brilliance of the mind does wander, as it has a phenomenal tendency to do, can you call yourself back to the feeling of the solid ground beneath you, the feeling of the air around you, and the sensation of the breath within? begin to deepen your breath. Taking a longer breath in and a sweeter breath out. Take another breath in, down and wide. And exhale to offer every drop of that breath out. Every one of your inhalations is this divine energy pouring herself into you. And every one of your inherently divine breaths is an offering to her breath in. So as you feel the fullness of your breath begin to deepen, let it awaken the body that you're in and the being, the very spirit that you are, as you begin to move in ways that just feel sweet to you. You might slowly roll your wrists or ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you gently tip your head from one side to the other. Or just being mindful of those around you. You might stretch your legs away from your arms or draw your legs in towards your heart. But when you're ready, let both knees bend, reach one or both arms overhead as you roll to any side of your choice to coil in towards yourself. A breath here down on the ground. And as you push into the earth, come up to rise to a tall, comfortable seat. As you find a tall spine, with the eyes soft, can you turn towards that weapon of the breath? There for you in any moment to defeat any of those modern day demons. Let the breath move in, down, and wide. And exhale to offer the breath up and out through every fiber of you. We'll finish our time together with one more of those same breaths. You can place your hands to center where that feels for you. As you take a deep breath in, to let it go. You might bow your head to your hands or lift your hands to your head in such a simple yet sincere gesture of self-reverence, bowing to your heart, the hearts of each other who practiced alongside with you. And with all of my heart, I and Nikki bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so very much for being here. The demon army conquered until next week. Keep your demons in a notes app list, so we'll tackle them one at a time. Thank you so much. It's my favorite time of year, and it's a real joy to share this with you all. But take care of yourselves, drink lots of water, enjoy the warm, cool, whatever's going on outside. While you are deconstructing, I have a few announcements, yoga and non-yoga related. Some of you know I live in West Philly, so I try and lure you all over there. And my friend Farah she's a big reader and is doing a book exchange on October 14th in Clark Park. I'll post it on my Instagram soon, bring some books that you've liked and read and then exchange them with a whole bunch of other people. This Friday at Studio 34, the other studio I teach at, we're doing the studio teachers, the people that teach at the yoga, the yoga teachers who teach at the yoga studio are doing an art opening. I'll be hanging up some quilts. People are putting up paintings. There's a free yoga class at 6, and then the galleries the opening is at 7, but also all the art will be up until December. So if you want to creep over there, it's a beautiful place. Community hour classes here are bumping. Come if you're a morning bird, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30. And then October 21st, it just got put on the schedule. I'm doing another advancing asana class here from 1 to 4, which means they're very workshop style, very, very casual. We work through some poses that we don't often have time for in long public classes. So if there's a pose that you've been man, I hate that demon pose, I can give you some tips, and all the other fantastic beings in class can give you tips too. But that's all I have. You guys have stuff? Any announcements? Also in West Philly, Cleo Bagels just opened. I know Korshak closed. They just talked about it on NPR, so it's a big deal. But Cleo Bagels on 50th and Baltimore. I'm really luring you over west. We got trees over there. It's real cute. The bagels are amazing. I just had one called Ramen Thing. I will leave it there. Okay, bye. You went there?
Yeah.
Which, it was so